Good evening, everybody. Just going to give everyone another couple of seconds to come in. Uh, Thank you for coming to our cooking class tonight. I know that it's an Easter one and it's a little bit early for Easter, but I thought, you know what? Let's do it straight up this month so that we can hopefully give you guys some really great ideas on what to make in your Thermomix over the Easter period. My name is Victoria Cody and I am a Thermomix team leader down here in the Gippsland area. I have got girls all the way from Clyde North down to the Peninsula area and right down to Bairnsdale. So quite a big, massive area and growing quite a big team at the moment, which is absolutely amazing. I've got two of my girls on tonight. We have had to cut one of the things that we were going to cook, which was a cookie with a lemon curd in it. But unfortunately, one of our girls has got a little one with gastro. So she's off tending to that, which is absolutely fine. So tonight we're going to try and show you some breakfast ideas. So we've got some chocolate hot cross buns and a hollandaise sauce as well. So we're going to show you that thickening mode and the dough mode with those two recipes. We've got some gifting ideas, which was going to be the cookies, but we've also got something else, which is the candied almonds, which are going to be amazing. So that'll show you the sugar stages in your Thermomix as well. And then we thought we need a couple of Good Friday dishes. So we've got one with prawns and one with fish to give you some ideas for Good Friday. So I want you to pop in the comments while we get ready. What is it that you want to make this Easter in your Thermomix? Is there something that you want to give a go or something that you've already put into your planner to try around that Easter period? I'm just going to find where my Thermomix is and spotlight that. Give me a second because I'm going to get straight into some chocolate hot cross buns so that I can get those proving, which I have already made another dough as well to speed this process up a little bit, which is great. So we're going to hit the 3 lines and I'm going to go to my week because I've already got it in there. Now, this recipe on Cookie Do is normally a 12 batch recipe, but what I have done is I have, sorry, I'm just admitting some more people. There we go. I've actually scaled that recipe down to only do 6 portions instead. I am eating in a calorie deficit at the moment, so the last thing I need is hot cross buns everywhere, especially chocolate ones. So I've scaled it right down and I'm going to pop them in the freezer so that they're eaten one by one and not a whole batch at the same time. So just like anything else, when you scale down those recipes, it's already automatically halved the ingredients that we need, which is great. No more guesswork with that. Have you given that a go yourself? Scaling down the recipes. And if you don't know how to do that, please reach out to your consultant because they will be able to help you with that. I'm just checking the comments here. What have we got? Easter baskets. Yes. How cute are Easter baskets? There's nothing better than winning one either if you go into a raffle. I love that. Okay, so we're going to hit start cooking. Now, this is a little bit different when you do scale down a recipe. It then becomes a created recipe. So it is a little bit different. You still get to use the guided cooking, but it does look a little different as to what it does just doing it through the normal cookie do recipe. So it's asking me to grease a large bowl and put it to the side, which I've already done, and then to also line the baking tray, which I've done that as well. So we can skip that step. Now what we're going to do is place the milk, which I just had to leave that in the fridge, sorry, because it's a little bit warm in my house, so I've just grabbed that. So if we hit the scales down the bottom, it's going to pop up what we need to put in. Now, I've already weighed all of this, so we don't need to be sitting here tearing the scales and stuff. We're just going to pop it straight in and keep going. So that's 100 grams of milk. And we also need 25 grams of sugar. So we're going to pop that in as well. And then we're also going to put in 1¼ teaspoons of yeast. Now, a great tip when you're putting in the yeast is to always make sure that you absolutely get the liquid contents instead of letting the yeast hit the blade because it's just not going to activate that yeast properly because it's all not going to go in there. Now, there's my spatula because I've just realised that when I dumped the sugar in, I didn't do what I say, did I? And I've left it on the blade. So let's just get that off into the liquid. Perfect. All right. So now it wants us to heat this up for 2 minutes to 37 degrees on speed 2. So I had a little bit of a look. Oh, let me find my face again. Here we go. I was having a little bit of a look at the ingredients that are in your hot cross buns, particularly the Cadbury's ones. And I was actually a little bit blown away that I put it into the group chat and I said to the ladies in the team that, oh my God, I can't believe this. Has anybody ever had a look at what ingredients are in hot cross buns, in particular the Cadbury's ones? There is 12 chemicals, emulsifiers and preservatives. That means in one packet of 6 hot cross buns, there was 12 ingredients in there that were numbers. Like numbers that you then have to go and put into Google to see exactly what it is that were in there. And they were all chemicals. Every single one of them was a chemical that was in there. And then the other thing that blew me away was that as a Cadbury hot cross bun, 20% of it was chocolate. That's it. Only 20%. I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like, what is the rest of it? So I had a look at what the rest of it was, and it was literally all flavorings. So you've got a hot cross bun full of flavor that they've promoted as a Cadbury chocolate hot cross bun, and you're only eating 20% of their chocolate. The rest of it is chemicals and your additives. So how amazing is it for all of you that already own a Thermomix tonight that you have got the option to go in there and make these from scratch for your children and take all of that away. And the best part about it is, as you can see, I only put in 25 grams of sugar. That's it, into a 6-pack, obviously, because I've cut it down to a 6-pack. What was that? Yucca is a great app for checking additives. I have had somebody say that to me. I'm going to write that down after this class, actually, Rebecca, because that is a great one. Somebody has mentioned it to me before about checking that for the additives and stuff, because here's me Googling it when there's, of course, there's an app out there that does that for you. I just got to find my face again and unpin this. Give me a second. Here we go. Back to the thermo now because we've heated up and we've activated that yeast. So now we're going to heat the next one and we're going to add in the flour. Hit those scales again. So 250 grams of the baker's flour. And then we're going to go 1 egg. Look how big these eggs are. They're massive. I don't know if the camera does it any justice, but I get mine from the egg farm locally here to me in Morwell. And they are massive. And most of them come out double yolkers, which is amazing. I love it. Always an awe factor with that. And then we're going to go 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're going to go 10 grams of cocoa powder as well. Pop that in. And a little bit of salt. That will do. Okay, so then I've skipped a step. Hit the blades and we're going to mix that up for 20 seconds on speed 3. So don't be afraid to always, you can take that off your measuring cup and have a look in there as well. Jade, the brioche buns, the hot cross buns on Cookie Dough are delicious. Yes, I do love a good brioche bun. I'm a sucker for homemade burgers and I always use that, the brioche buns from Cookie Dough. All right, so now we're going to use that kneading function and it's going to knead this for 5 minutes. So while it's doing that, we can come out and we can go back to Cookie Dough and let's have a look. Can you see that screen? Here we go. We're going to have a quick search for what other hot cross bun recipes we can find on Cookie Dough. And let's not forget, ladies, that it is guided cooking. So if you want to start doing your own little flavors with them, by all means, you can do that. You know, we're doing the chocolate ones at the moment, which is these, but you can, like, if you like caramel or something, you know, you can swap it out for the caramel instead of choc chip. You can turn that into that if you want. Here's the brioche buns that Jade mentioned as well. There's a couple of types. Now, a really great tip when you're using Cookie Doo is I always go by the star rating. So if it's got a star rating of, like, you know, 3 and above, I will always give it a go. If it's under 3 to 4, I tend to just stay away from it. If you do come across a recipe, though, that is, you know, not that great, or you think that there's something wrong that's in it, if you go in and you mark that recipe down to like a 1 or 2 star, that is actually going to prompt the recipe development team to go back in and have a look at it and see what's wrong with the recipe. So I always urge people to go in and give them a star rating. We've also got gluten-free ones as well. So if you are gluten-free or you're cooking for someone that's gluten-free, don't be afraid to give them a go. Gluten-free is always that little bit tricky, though. You do need to play around with it a little bit, but don't be afraid to give it a go. We've got apple and cinnamon hot cross buns, and there's some vegan ones as well. How amazing is that? Like, just at the touch of a button, you can turn your hot cross bun craving into so many delicious recipes. Plenty there to look at. So we'll hit that back button, and we're just going to let that go for a little bit longer. What I might do, though, is let's flip over to Crystal, and we're going to get her to start one of our amazing... Oh, there she is.
Hi, everybody. Hope everyone is having a great evening. I'm Crystal Galea from Therming with the 7 Gs. I'm based in Erica, not quite far from Vicky. So I am a Gippsland consultant as well, mainly virtual, but would love to branch out a bit more into doing some in-home demonstrations. So tonight for you guys, I'm going to be cooking the steamed garlic prawns, which I have already added into my week. Right here. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So it is asking us to wet a large piece of baking paper, wring it out, and then pop it into our varoma dish, which I have already done here. Leaving it slightly untucked so that some of the holes are uncovered, perfectly for our steaming. So place a mixing bowl on the lid, which I'm just going to use our beautiful thermosaver. Next. And I'm going to weigh in 100 grams of our rice vermicelli noodles. 102. Easy. Remove from the lid and cover with hot water and leave to soak according to packet instructions. Now, these ones are only going to take 2 minutes, so I'm just going to use some hot water here and cover that up. Like so. To keep them warm, I'm just going to sit my lid on top like so. And I'm going to pop a 2-minute timer. Now, if you're not using your timer function on your Thermomix, it makes life so much easier. So it's just a little bit of a swipe down of the screen, clearing that, and I'm just going to pop in 2 minutes. Where are we? There we go. Perfect. All right, going back to our recipe now. So just clicking on next. Once that's done, we'll be draining our noodles and popping those in. Oh, sorry. Has anyone made these ones before? Pop it in the chat. Are you doing steamed garlic prawns, or are you making garlic prawns the traditional way and need a bit of help to use your Thermomix? Going to use our simmering basket for those. Clicking on next. I'm just going to skip over for just a sec into our varoma dish. I'm going to weigh in our prawns just to get them ready. Tearing off there. There we are. I've got just some prawns here. Is anyone making the traditional no meat foods on Easter, pop it in the chat. What are you making? All right, so I've got a little bit over, but I don't want to waste those ones. So we are going to use them. Once again, as Vicky said, it is guide cooking at the end. Next.
So just quickly while you're doing that, Crystal, I'm just going to show everyone. I'm just popping in the butter now, which is very softened because my house is boiling hot, but that's okay. That'll just make it easier. And it is going to go through and it's going to do another knead step as well now for another 2 minutes. So butter's in and another 2 minutes on the dough function.
Beautiful. All right, so while yours is doing that, it's 2 minutes is up, so I'm going to drain out my noodles. There we are. There's our little timer to say it is done. Drain them out using your simmering basket. Another wonderful, handy little function of this beautiful accessory. Now I'm just going to pop them into there for a second. Pop my baking paper back in. Confirm that I've finished with my timer, of course. And just click that back up. Oh, I've just clicked on my sensor. All right. So I'm going to pop those back into my varoma. Just gently move it about a bit. And then it's asked me to pop in 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. I can get it open. Teaspoon, tablespoon. 1 tablespoon, sorry. Popping that in. I use a dark soy sauce. I do prefer the dark. And I'm just going to give that a little mix in there. Like so. Move that about. And then I've done that one. Clicking next. My vermicelli is in there. I've got my varoma dish in position. I'm going to pop my prawns in. Just gently across the top. Nice and easy. Remove my varoma dish and just set it aside for the minute. And sit over there. Next. Now this is where we make our sauce. So I've got my garlic cloves here. 6 of those straight into our bowl. It's asked for some fresh red chili, but I'm going to use some chili flakes this evening just to taste. We like things a little bit spicy in our house. I'm going to pop in a teaspoon of sugar. Regular plain old sugar is just fine. But don't forget, you can use your Thermomix to be making your different ranges of sugar, such as caster sugar, icing sugar. I'm going to go 2 teaspoons of our fish sauce. Now, if you don't particularly like fish sauce, you can scale this one back. Oh, excuse me. I'm just going to add in 1. I'm not a huge fan of fish sauce. Next. Some ginger. Now, this one is said to use some root ginger, but I'm just going to use some crushed ginger just to taste as well. It's asking me for 20 grams. There we are. Next, 20 grams of rice wine or dry sherry. I've got some rice wine here. Oh, we've gone a little bit over, but that's fine. It'll be a little bit saucier. Some oyster sauce, 20 grams of that one. Come on. Okay. There we are. Next, insert our measuring cup back into our thing, popping that on like so, clicking next. 10 seconds around to speed 8 just to mill everything together perfectly. Everyone for a second there. All right. So just wait for those locking arms to come apart. And look at that sauce. Absolutely beautiful. So now the Thermomix is just asking me to push everything down like so. That sauce is so fragrant and beautiful. Oh. Popping that back on there. And we're going to do another quick blitz of that one, another 10 seconds around a speed 8. We are going to pour our beautiful mixture here over our prawn. Thank goodness for my glider board, I tell you. Just going to move that over our sauce like so. Over our prawns, sorry. I can't talk today. Does anyone else have those kinds of days? Oh, I do. All right, pouring that over. There we go. Getting all of those goodies out of our bowl. There we go. Next step. We're going to add 600 grams of water back into our now empty bowl. Tearing it off. Tearing it off. Come on. A little bit over. It's okay. We're just doing some steaming at this point. I'm going to pop my lid back on. Measuring cup out. Aroma back into place. With my lid on, of course. Just making sure you're going to be able to allow some steam to come out through that baking paper, which mine is wet and still quite crinkled, as you can see. Popping that on. We're going to go for 12 minutes, Varoma temperature, around to speed 2, sorry. And I can always prolong the cooking time a little bit longer if my prawns aren't cooked to my liking. But yeah, there you go. All done with that one.
Thank you. And of course, my dog is going off now, so please excuse that. And also, please excuse my no cupboard door here. My kitchen is next on the list for renovation, so there will be a door one day. Okay, so we've taken this dough out, and I just quickly did the maths. It was, what was it, 7 minutes of kneading time in the Thermomix. So if you don't know already, but 2 minutes in the machine is 20 minutes worth of kneading by hand. So that means that this would have taken 120 minutes to knead to have it this perfectly kneaded. But we don't do things by hand anymore when we own a Thermomix, do we? So what we're doing is we're just flattening this dough down, and we're going to sprinkle it with the chopped chips. And this part we do need to use our hands though. We do not need to pop it back into the Thermomix for this, but we're literally just going to squish all those in until the chopped chips are incorporated right through the dough instead of it just being in one layer. You want it right through it so that it's nice and even, so that when they cook and you take a bite, in every single bite you've got a piece of nice gooey hot chocolate. Now, this recipe can get a little bit messy as well, because when I show you the next one, as it's doing its prove time, obviously the dough gets quite warm. So what happens when chocolate gets warm? Yeah, it gets quite messy. So we're going to pop that. So have a look at the size. It's quite small. I'm going to pop its little shower cap on, and I'm going to swap places with where the other one is. Now, if you have not got yourself a bread mat, get one. These work exactly like your cling wrap would. So it helps keep it all nice and warm as well inside the bowl. Obviously, great for using dough, you know, on the bench without needing much flour as well. Very non-stick. And you can actually wrap the dough inside these if you want, especially when you're making bread or the pizzas or stuff, and it will prove inside these, which is fantastic. So we've doubled in size. So now we're just going to cut this up into 6 equal pieces. What do we got here? 4, I'm going to have to steal from each of them to make. Right, that's 5. Or you can weigh them out if you really want to be pedantic about it, that you need about 100 grams per little ball. So you want to roll them up like so. We're going to grab our baking tray, which is one of our rose gold ones from the Mix shop. Very beautiful, and you can get them with the liners as well. So these are safe to go into the oven. They're perfect. They do have little circle spaces on them. They've got measuring around here as well. So if you're making a slice and you want it to be perfect measurements, they think of everything at Thermomix, honestly. So we're going to roll these and pop them onto the tray. Now, you don't want them to be touching, but you want them to be a little bit close as well. So, you know, about a centimetre, 1.5 centimetres apart is enough, because now we're going to pop these to the side and we are going to give them another prove time. So they will puff up a little bit more as well. Just get that last one on. Okay, I think that one was a little bit too chunky, and the first one was a little bit too small, but that's okay. They're homemade. We're not going for perfection. We're going for tasty. All right, so perfect. 6 of those. We're going to wrap them up. I'm actually just going to not make more dishes. Use fly wrap. I'm just going to literally pop that over the top like that. And I'm going to go put it back over onto my stove so that it is nice and warm and they prove very quickly. And in the meantime, I'm going to spotlight Kath. And Kath's going to show us her fish tacos. I'm interested for these ones. Take it away, Kath.
Hi everybody, I'm Kath. I'm Thermomix consultant based in Stratford. I'm going to make some fish tacos. So this recipe has 3 components to it. We're going to make a quick marinade, then we're going to make a slaw, and then a nice dressing to go on top. So I don't know if you can see that. So I've popped it in my wok, so we're going to start it off here. And we need some lime peel, and it was approximately 2 limes. It wasn't quite enough, so we're just getting what we're getting tonight. And the salt was in that one as well. So salt and pepper, that was all in that one. We're just going to put the lid on, and where's my measuring cup? There it is. Hit next, and the speed select around to 10. For 10 seconds. There we go. And hit the next button. I'm going to scrape that mixer bowl down with my spatula. That smells delicious. Now we need some fresh parsley. And there we go. In there. Some garlic cloves. Now, shoot me, but I don't use garlic cloves. I use crushed garlic and some olive oil, and that's all in together there. And some lime juice, 2 ounces of. That's enough. Hit the next button. Now we need some cumin, some smoked paprika. That's in that one there. That one goes. Insert the measuring cup again on the lid. Hit the next. We're going around to speed 6. Now, while that is mixing for 1.5 minutes, this recipe calls for tortillas. I don't like the store-bought ones, so I've quickly made tonight some flatbread. This is a quick flatbread. This is what I'm going to use. They're beautiful. They take 15 seconds to mix up in the Thermomix and 1 minute of kneading. There's no proving time. There's no resting time. And I just roll them out. Rustic's good enough. And then it says to cook them in the fry pan, but I have got a little hack there, and I use my sandwich press to make it really, really easy. You can be rolling out one, have it in the sandwich press, and by the time you've rolled one out, the one in the sandwich press is ready, and you just continue like that. So if I was making this, generally I would wait until the fish is going to be cooking for 15 minutes, and then I'd whip up the flatbreads, keep them warm in my thermo server, and we'd be ready to go in 20 minutes. Easy. They're really, really, and added nutrition too, I forgot. There's yogurt in them, so you can sneak some added nutrition into the kids if you feel like you can. So we've got 17 or so seconds to right there. There's my bugs in my house. I've got an infestation of moths, unfortunately, and I'd have to turn the lights off, but that wouldn't be really good. So here we go. We're finished now. I'll hit the next button. Now, it says to transfer the marinade to a large Ziploc bag and put the fish in. Now, I've got my fish in a Ziploc bag. I don't think you really need to have a Ziploc bag. Just any container would do, but I happen to have a Ziploc bag. So that's what I'll do. But I'll just show you this. It's a beautiful colour with the parsley. Just have a look at that. That's like delicious. So I'm just going to put that in there. It smells divine with the parsley and the lime. Now, I don't have a lot of fish in my diet. It usually comes in the form of battered from a fish and chip shop. So this is a really good way, I think, to do it. Get more in the diet, because anything taco, for me, is delicious. So I've just fully covered that fish there. You can see that in the bag, and I'm just going to leave that to one side while we do the rest of it. Now, the next step is seal the bag, let it marinate. That's what we've done. Now, clean the mixing bowl. So we can clean the mixing bowl, but if you're fortunate enough to have a second bowl, it makes life way more easier. So, and actually, the bowl is one of our gift with purchase in the bundle at the moment if you purchase a 10-6, so it's really, really handy. Next step, we're going to put some red cabbage pieces there, and carrot, and some jalapeno. I think you could probably leave that out if you're not a spicy girl. Insert the measuring bowl, and we're going to put it around to speed 5. That's a little while. Thank you. Okay, we're going to put that into a small bowl. I'll just give you I'll show you that. How that one. That looks good. I don't know about my bowl size. I may have been a little bit. Now, this is quite chunky. I would probably like it a little bit, like a little bit more chopped up, but that's fine. So that's just going to go over to one side. All right, next, I'm going to put some mayonnaise. Now, this is the dressing component. Some plain Greek yogurt, and the next step was honey, so I've combined those, so they're just going in together. And some apple cider vinegar, 1 ounce. Now, this is in ounces rather than grams, and of course, the Thermomix just automatically does it for us. Some salt. And we'll do pepper. Back on. And round to speed 5 for 10 seconds. Maybe you can see that. That's better. That's going to go into a separate bowl. So there we go. We've got a nice dressing, which has got a little bit of a purple tinge because of the cabbage. Pop this to one side. Okay, next. We're just going to pop our fish into our aroma tray. Yeah, where did I do fish? There we go. I'm in the bottom of it. That's good. I'm just going to make sure I have some holes in the bottom, just to make sure it gets evenly steamed. Tray on the top. Very good. Okay, that's good. Next button, some water. Just so we can steam this fish. Next, just going to pop the aroma onto the lid. And that's going to cook for, it says between 15 and 20 minutes. I'm going to do it for 15 minutes and see how it's cooked. So we'll just put the selector around. And while that's cooking, I think Crystal's got something to show us.
Absolutely. Crystal, I'm going to get you to start with, let's take Kath off.
Our candied almonds.
Start with the candied almonds, yeah, and we're going to show them some sugar stages. Now, just bear with me because my little one has just woken up, so I'm just redoing a quick bottle for her.
Mine's still fighting her sleep too.
So while you're doing your step as well, Crystal's going to, while it's doing its sugar stages, Crystal's going to have a bit of a chat. And when I get back, I'll have a chat too about the amazing TM7 that's on its way.
That's exactly right, Vic. Oh my God. Has everybody heard the news? What are we thinking? How are we feeling? Because I, for one, am so excited. I mean, look at it. Isn't it beautiful? The size of that screen, it's just amazing. I'm really excited to get one on my bench for sure, and even more excited to earn it, definitely. So now I'm going to begin the recipe, of course, but we will get back to our little chat. So with sugar stages, we just need to make sure that we're using the exact accurate amounts of what our Thermomix is telling us. So it's just letting us know you have to use, for the success of the recipe, you have to use the exact measurements and ingredients used. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place my 100 grams of caster sugar. Now, as I was saying earlier, don't rush out and buy a million different sugars and things like this. Use your Thermomix to mill up your own different sugars. So this is some icing sugar that I've just created out of white sugar. I also make our own icing sugar and things like that as well. So I'm just going to tear that off. I'm going to pop in my 100 grams. $97, easy. I've got my 50 grams of water here. Just popping that in. There we are. And I'm going to pop my lid back on and also my splash guard as well, guys. Massive safety feature on our beautiful TM6. Absolutely love it. Popping that on. Going to go around 4 minutes at our max speed using our sugar stages. So I'm just going to turn our dial. That can go. But our TM7, absolutely beautiful. So will be a new 10-inch screen, which is absolutely so exciting. A nice quiet motor too. So from what I've heard, if you're cooking anything under speed 4, it's just quiet. Like that'll be so handy, especially in regards to myself and Vicky at the minute, who are battling little ladies who don't want to sleep. I'm really looking forward to that one for sure. But increased room capacity, which is even more exciting for those bigger families as well. Oh, Bree's in the same boat. Such a great time, isn't it? Lucky we're all working from home, which is just amazing. So sorry, bigger varoma capacity, so 45% more compared to the TM6. What else do we have? Included 200 free cooking recipes, guided cooking recipes. That's going to be exciting. 20 new modes, including amazing open cooking, steaming, and open browning. So it's going to kind of replicate your stovetop type cooking. So the blades won't be spinning, but you'll still be able to have your lid open for that open cooking, which will be just amazing. And once again, you're still going to get the 3 months cookie dough. Now, pre-sales do open on the 2nd of April, which is really, really exciting. But please reach out to your preferred consultant and they'll pop your name down and organise all of that for you. But can I get a hands up? Who's excited?
Has anybody seen it on socials? I love how it looks more like a dock now than it does with the outer casing. So you'll see, yeah, so you'll see in the images how it's lost that outer part of the Thermomix now. So it doesn't have all of this. It literally just sits on it like a dock, which is absolutely incredible. And going back to the sound of it, it is definitely quieter. So our BDM, Elise Mackey, got to go over to Germany while they were launching the TM7. And she literally said that like quite a few people were like, is it on? And they're like, yeah, it's been cooking for like 6 minutes or whatever it was. So yeah, Christy, that is a very common comment as well. There is some people that just like the TM6, and don't get me wrong, I still like the way that this looks as well. I definitely love my black one. I love the fact that the TM7 is black, but I prefer my black TM6 as well. I still think it's an incredible machine, you know, and I have been really pushing for people right now that have been thinking about upgrading from the 31 or the 5 or even to buy one, you know, while you're getting such a great bundle with the TM6, there's no reason not to get it. You know, the TM7, if you like all of the latest things, then by all means jump into that pre-sale and get yourself a TM7, and it will become an incredible machine over time, just like the TM6 did. You know, when the TM6 first came out, it was very standard, and along the way all of the attachments and stuff came, so no doubt it's going to turn into an incredible machine. But for the time being, the TM6 is still just as perfect and does everything that we need it to do, like the sugar stages.
And it's still our baby. Still love our TM6s. They're beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Mine's going down to my holiday home. I'll never get rid of it. I'm glad now that I don't have to travel backwards and forwards with one.
I'd be more than happy to have 3 Thermomixes on my bench.
All right.
And I know Jay definitely would be, for sure. All right, so I'm just going to continue on with my noodle recipe while we're doing our countdown here in the background. We're at 2 minutes 38 with our candied almonds. So in our noodle recipe, it's just asked me to pop in 30 grams of sunflower oil. I have tipped out our noodles and prawns into a serving dish. There we are. So we're just going to gently toast this oil to pour over our prawns. So I'm popping my simmering basket on top. We will use a dirty one because it's only water. I'm just going to go 1 minute around to 100 degrees. Speed 2, move that out of the way. So we're at our caramelizing stage now. We've got 2 minutes to go on our sugar. Sorry, my screen's gone a little bit fuzzy. Is that better? No. Maybe a tissue. Has anyone tried honeycomb with their sugar stages?
I've attempted it once. I'm not going to lie. The sugar stage does scare me a little bit. It does.
I love it.
You know, do you really? You love it?
I love it. And I love to make honeycomb, but then also make the vanilla bean ice cream on cookie dough and then crush up my honeycomb and put it in the ice cream and make
Oh, that's what Jade has just said. She makes the honeycomb and then uses it for hokey pokey ice. Oh my God, Jade, my husband would fall in love with you.
I wonder where she got that tip from, Jade. Such a good one though. Really, really good.
We grew up Kiwi.
We did, yeah. Jandals were a big thing in our house. Okay, so my noodles have finished. I still got a minute going. I mean, look at the beauty of this, guys. I'm cooking 2 different dishes at the same time. So my oil is nicely toasted. I'm just going to bring over this one. I popped it in our thermo server as well, which of course is available as a host reward at the minute. Pouring that over the top, just like so.
How good are those servers? If you don't have yourself a server, they are on our host reward catalog. So please reach out to your consultant and book in a demo and get yourself one. There's that size. We've got the longer oval shape one that are great for when you're making meats and cutting up meat and stuff. Oh, they're perfect. 2 hours, hot or cold. I can make something like this on sports night, soccer night, and when we get home, I don't have to reheat dinner. It's just serve it up and off you go. Makes sports night so easy.
All right, so we've just finished our sugar stages as well. So I'm going to very quickly go across to our next stage, asking me to pop in 200 grams of our toasted almonds. Tearing that off. In we go with those. Next, popping my measuring cup and my lid back together. Where did that measuring cup go there? Too many bowls. What a problem to have. And we're just going to go 35 seconds, max temp, and just mixing on that one. So we've just got our reverse icon on there as well. So we're just using the blunt side of those blades as well. You can use that definitely in manual mode as well. Just click on the button, easy done. Perfect for if you wanted to mix some biscuit dough and things like that. That's typically what I would use it for. Anything that you don't kind of want to chop up at the same time as mixing or incorporating into a dish.
Crystal is very much going through her recipe creation era, which is amazing. Which means that she is very much using her TM6 for a lot of manual things while she's creating these recipes. And us in Rebel Mixes, that's our team name, we are very much getting the benefits of having Crystal design her own little recipes. Because
that's exactly right.
No, what was the one that Kath made that you just did? The
Biscoff mousse.
So like a variation of the Milo mousse, if anyone's made that. Yeah, Crystal's made a Biscoff one. You're welcome.
More than happy to share that in the group chat as well, guys. Like, the more the merrier, people need to know about it because it's so bloody delicious.
I think it's better because it's only 15 minutes. You don't have to wait for the Milo mousse. I think you have to put it aside for an hour or so.
Yeah, you're meant to let it set, but I just
you're supposed to.
Away.
You're supposed to, but when I'm making Milo mousse in my house, my husband's grabbing it out of the Thermomix bowl.
Yeah. It was delicious.
There's my candied almonds, guys.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Look at those. What a great gifting idea. You could put those in little cellophane bags, for those making Easter baskets and stuff like that. What a great little homemade treat.
And absolutely delicious.
And save yourself a bucket load too. In a little glass jar. Exactly, Brie. In a little jar with old school with a little bit of cloth around with the lacky band. Oh, look at those.
And then I'm just going to go ahead and clean my bowl. So adding in my 100 grams, a kilo of water and some white vinegar, and then it's going to clean itself. Done.
It is very essential that after you use the sugar stages that you do clean it straight away. You're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get that off if you do not. All right, while Crystal is doing that, I'm going to come back to my Thermomix now, and we're going to quickly make up the little crosses for the hot cross buns, actually. So what it wants us to do is pop a bowl on top of the lid, and we're going to weigh in the flour and the water. But of course, I have already weighed these, so we were just going to pop them in. So it's 20 grams of flour. If you're ever wondering what the cross on the hot cross buns is made out of, this is it, minus the preservatives and minus the chemicals. 25 grams of water. And then we're going to go half a teaspoon Did I grab my half a teaspoon? Where did that go? Here it is. I wish they could add half teaspoons and stuff into grams. Like, what would it be? Like 1 gram. But it's the only time you have to go get measuring stuff, right? Is when you're doing teaspoons and tablespoons. First world problems. All right, and just a tiny little pinch of salt. So a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt. That's all we need. The other thing that I found as well with the store-bought hot cross buns is that they actually use 2 kinds of oil in it. So it's got canola oil and palm oil. So they literally use the 2 most worst oils that you can put into your body, honestly. Whereas with this, you can take control of what oil you want in it, you know, and use the one that you prefer if you are on that health kick. All right. So we're just going to...
half a teaspoon is 2.5 grams.
Well, there you go. I'm writing that down and I'm going to keep that in the memory bank. From now on, I'm just going to weigh that in. All right. So we're just going to mix that up into a paste until there's no more lumps in it. You could absolutely throw that into your mixing bowl if you want and do that in your thermo, but I'm not going to re-dirty it again just for that. And I can do it in here just very quickly because then we're going to pop it into, where's the branding? I got mix shot ones. Because it had the mix shot written on it, I had to get them. And they're really great quality, actually. So if you're into, you know, cake decorating and stuff and you need a good quality piping bag, they come in a box of 100 and they're fairly cheap.
They're
very,
absolutely
very cheap.
amazing for doing cannelloni, for filling cannelloni as well, guys, because they don't burst.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, they're very great quality. They're very thick. Yeah, I love them. All right, so just going to pop the rest of that in there and that will do. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the hot cross buns. They still have about 8 minutes left of proof time, but you know what? They've puffed up a bit. Most of them have. So let's do it. Now, you're about to witness how bad I am at decorating, and this is why I have a best friend who has a cake business. And she's amazing. And I just get her to do all of the decorating because you're about to see how much of an unsteady hand I have. And I've also lost the outer casing of my piping bag. So we're gonna chance this. And we're gonna hope to God it doesn't go everywhere and we actually get little crosses out of it. All right, so I'm just gonna cut that little bit and we're literally just gonna go like that and like that and make little crosses. Oh, see what I mean? Oh my God, I'm terrible at it. And it's just slipping out, obviously, because I don't have a tip on it. God, my daughter likes to go through my cupboards and take all of my stuff into the lounge room and play kitchens with all of the stuff. Mind you, she's got all of the playthings that she could take with her, but no, we need mum's stuff out of the kitchen. All right, they
and
look
if you
like...
don't have a piping bag, Vic, you can just use a Ziploc bag and cut the corner off it. That works really well too. And your piping is not terrible, so...
I don't know about that. It's going everywhere. Anyway, you get the picture, right? They're kind of like crosses, yeah? They're not too bad. They're not too bad, actually. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these in the oven. And we're going to then make our hollandaise sauce. So let me just pop these in the oven. And then we're going to flick through. So I thought what I would do is, oh, hang on, we're going to bake these for 20 minutes. So we're going to pop down our timer again. We'll clear the, oh, there you go. I only had 3 minutes left to proof, so that's fine. And then we're going to check these in 20 minutes. Now, if you are doing the full recipe on Cookie Do, you can it actually uses the sensor. So you can pop the sensor in and it'll tell you when those hot cross buns are absolutely ready. But when you scale down the recipe, unfortunately, it takes that step out of it through this way of doing the guided cooking. But yeah, if you just keep it at the 12 portion and use the Cookie Do one, you can insert this. And I did this with the last batch that I made and I did a full 12. The sensor is incredible. So you can just pop that in the oven and know that when they're ready, your machine is going to alert you that your hot cross buns in the oven are ready to be pulled out. So incredible little tool to have. It's all Bluetooth. You can shove that in the dishwasher to wash them as well. They're great for cakes, doughs, meat, anything that you need a temperature for while you're cooking it. And you get to select how you want things cooked as well. All right, so that's that recipe. Now that that is in the oven, we're going to go back to our 3 lines, and now we're going to bring up a hollandaise sauce. And I thought, you know, what better sauce to make for, you know, Easter Sunday, I would say. This is probably something I would do on Easter Sunday morning, you know, with some nice eggs with hollandaise sauce on it. I would like to say avocado and eggs, but I'm still crying over the fact that the avocados are not in season and we have to deal with shepherd. I don't know if anybody else is crying over that, but I certainly am. Actually, pop it in the chat. I want to know, because I did a poll on my socials about if you like the shepherd or the Hass. And yeah, I thought that I was just being a sook, but the the amount of comments I got with people saying that they absolutely hate the shepherd, I was like, yes, thank you. I do too. All right, so we're going to go in with 10 grams of water. Just need a little bit. Perfect. And then we're going to go in with 10 to 20 grams of lemon juice. So this is literally to taste. If you don't really want that overpowering lemon taste, which I won't do because of the kids, I want them to try it. And I think if it was too overpowering with the lemon, they would say no. I like avocados as long as they're not hard. Yes. Rebecca, you like the shepherd. Have you got a tip on how to get them to ripen properly? Because every single one I've bought, they're not ripening at all. They're just hard as a rock. I can't get the skin off. Like, it's just been a whole ordeal, to be honest. All right, we're going to go in with bananas. Yes, actually, that's a great idea. Well done. Love that. I've got some bananas, actually. I might pull them out and see. All right, see if that works. 150 grams of unsalted butter. If you've only got salted butter, by all means, use that. I know that I do quite often because I do like my food quite salty. And then we're going to pop in 4 egg yolks. Now, I didn't have another recipe set out for the egg whites, so I've just popped them in a container and I've popped them in the fridge. And what I will do now is type into Cookie-Doo egg whites, and that'll pull up some recipes that use egg whites only so that I can use those up and, you know, waste not, want not. Because that's what it's all about here at Thermomix, is making sure that you don't waste any of your food. Okay, and then we're going to pop in some pepper as well. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Obviously, if you used salted butter, maybe just skip the step with the salt. Bananas with a brown paper bag. Yes, okay, great. I'm trying that. I think I've got some brown paper bags. I think I bought some sandwich bags, actually. All right, so then we're going to pop in the lid. And we're going to thicken that. So this is just going to show you that thickening mode as well. If you're making gravies at night time, you know, for dinner, just move this up a little bit so you can see me. Yeah, if you're doing, you know, meat and you want the perfect gravy, honestly, that thicken mode, when you scroll across and get to your function page, that thickening mode is absolutely fantastic because, you know, gone are the days with having to stand there and stir it on the stove while it's cooking, because you just literally pop in the water, pop in your gravy mix, and it stirs it, heats it, and thickens it all up in one go as it's going. So that's going to do that for 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is leave that there to thicken up, and then I'm going to pass back to the girls and see who's got what ready. Is anybody's ready? Kath? You look like you're...
Just about.
Just about? Crystal, how's yours going? Let's have a look.
All right.
Have a look, Kath, and see what you're doing. I just want to say as well, I was going to say it before, but I thought, no, Kath would absolutely kill me. But this is actually Kath's first night helping us in a cooking class. She's definitely not a newbie to Thermomix. Kath has owned a few models. She's
I've
one
still
of
got us, yeah.
yeah, still got them all on the bench. It was very, very funny actually. We had to. She was like, we need to sneak this in so that my husband doesn't really notice. But I'm telling you right now, he had no idea that there was a new Thermomix on the bench, and it was funny. He didn't even realize what I was there for. Like, he had no idea. So she's got all these Thermomixes. I can't wait to see if he notices when there's a 7 on your bench either, because obviously as consultants we get the chance to earn our Thermomixes, which is amazing. So coming into the TM7, we're all going to need one.
He's already aware of that because I had to do, you remember we had that, we could do the virtual where you could put it on your bench, like take a photo of it on your bench. And he goes, yeah, I suppose that's going on the bench.
Yeah, it is, Richard. Of course it is.
I'm finished if you want to have a look at this. Okay.
Oh, have a look at those. So look at that. Quick fish tacos for, Good Friday. She's made the tortillas from scratch as well, the flatbread. Super easy to make, minimal ingredients in it. What a great way to wow people as well if you're having guests over for Good Friday. Definitely a great taco to make, I think.
I feel like they need this, though. They need cheese. I think they need cheese.
A taco needs cheese. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Yeah. Well done, Kath. Thank you very much. They look absolutely delicious, and I'm sure Richard will enjoy those for lunch tomorrow.
Lunch tomorrow, yes.
Well done, Kath. They look beautiful.
Yeah. They look very, very spectacular. I hope they taste as good as they look.
So
You'll have to keep us updated on what they taste like. Yeah. And Crystal?
Yeah.
Crystal. Hang on, let me find you. Oh, look at that.
So that is a 2-portion size, but that's heaps, guys. Like there's so much prawns in there. There's so many noodles. The flavors, the smell is just beautiful. I'm glad I added in that extra dried chili because these prawns taste so good. Being the size that they are, I did add an additional 3 minutes to the cooking time, but man, that is so good. I am so happy with that. And I can't stop eating these. These are delicious. They're so good. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Some great dishes. One to gift, one to not gift and keep all to yourself. Yum, yum.
How amazing. Thank you, Crystal. I had to put it on mute because it's still doing its little thing for 4 minutes. Now, please bear with me, guys, because we were supposed to have one more on. And we thought it was going to show her cookies, but obviously with her little one sick, we couldn't do that. So it's not going to quite make the hot cross buns aren't going to cook quite in time. But what I've done is because I already made a batch, I've gone and got these. Hang on, let me spotlight myself again. I made a batch yesterday and I gave some away and then I popped some in the freezer. So I do have some here to show you. These are the cooked ones that have been frozen. So they freeze really, really well. And they were so beautiful. I put one, I ate one straight out of the oven, or half of one, because again, I'm trying to track my macros, but you can't make hot cross buns and not try them, right? And then later that night, I took the other half and popped it underneath the grill. Put butter on it. I was in chocolate heaven, like chocolate heaven. And they've cost me next to nothing. Obviously, like honestly, everything for them I had in the fridge. Obviously, just had to, the eggs is a little bit expensive at the moment, but if you're getting them from an egg farm, so much cheaper. If anyone's in Gippsland, honestly, the egg farm in Morwell, 30 tray for 800-gram eggs was $15. Like super cheap, $15 for the big fat eggs. So give that a go if you're local. But yeah, everything else was literally in my cupboard. yeah, just the eggs and probably the chopped chips is the most expensive, but I buy chopped chips when they're on special anyway. And just taking out all of those additives, the sugar, the amount of sugar that's in it, all of those things, I just feel better for feeding my family with those. We've got about 3 minutes left on this sauce, and then I will show you that. We're going to pop up some photos on our socials as well with everything done. Sorry, I can hear someone behind me then, but I think it's my dog. I'll show you this sauce, but in the meantime, you can follow all of us on socials. So for myself, you can find me at Let's Get Down in Thermo. I'm predominantly on Instagram, so please follow me on Insta, but I am on Facebook as well. I do try to cross share as much as I can. But that was Let's Get Down in Thermo. I'll pop that in the chat. Crystal, where are you? Here you are. Can you please give yourself a shout out?
Hello, I am Crystal Galea Therming with the 7 Gs. So I am mainly on Facebook. I do have a nice little page happening over there. I do try to get onto Instagram as well, but I'm a busy mum of 5 young kids. So yeah, Facebook is kind of the go for me. But yeah, that's Crystal Galea Therman with the 7 Gs.
Amazing. Thank you. Just pop that in the chat for me too, Crystal. And then, Kath, where can we find you?
I'm Nan Got a Thermy, and I'm on both Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is just my name, Kath Goodwin, but yeah, Instagram predominantly. And yeah, Nan Got a Thermy, all 3.
Nan Got a Thermy. There you go. Pop that in the chat for you as well.
Yep.
So please, guys,
Thank
give
you.
us a follow. These cooking classes are a great way for us to give back to our customers and make sure that you're getting the most use out of your Thermomixes as well. Because the last thing that we want and the thing that we hate is when people come back and say, oh, it's in the cupboard. And most of the time it's because you're not jumping onto the cooking classes. You're not getting re-inspired to keep using it and get those new ideas. Your machine does a lot and it is incredible. And if you use it to its full advantage, you're going to get a lot of use out of it and it becomes very, very addictive. Okay, so let's add this into it as well. And spotlight. I'm up New South Wales and a consultant as well. Oh, well done, Rebecca. I love that. Thank you so much for jumping on and having a look. I hope that we've given you some great ideas and inspiration on what to cook for Easter. And look at that, nice and thick hollandaise sauce. It is quite thick in here, but obviously once you pop it into the fridge as well, that's going to thicken right up and that's going to be absolutely amazing on eggs. Absolutely. Oh, and it smells amazing. Look at that. No sugars, no additives, no nothing. Love it. All right, ladies, thank you so much for jumping on. It was very late for a Wednesday night, I know. But yeah, like I said, I hope that we've inspired you. I hope that you're going to really get some use out of your Thermomix this Easter. Happy Easter to everybody when it does roll around. And again, if you are after the TM7 or you're after some of the beautiful host rewards, get in contact with your consultant. Book in a demo with them. And if you need more inspiration, jump on everything that they do, watch all of the socials, and keep yourself using that Thermomix. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. And we will hopefully see you again in another cooking class soon.